Zoo Crew, I am back for another food challenge in front of Remy's Ratatouille Adventure at the fountain. That was just because the last time we did this, it was Emil's Fromage Montage, but today we've got the International Flower and Garden Festival. So we have the Garden Graze, and we've got 10 different food items to eat. That includes our festival treat at the end to top everything off after eating 9 other items throughout the park. All of these are plant-based items to go along with the theme of the Flower and Garden Festival, so I'm looking forward to that. All right, I am off here from Remy's, and here we go, we're underway. Here are our brief rules for today's challenge. Like I said, I've got to eat at all 10 stops. There are 9 regular stops, and then the 10th is the festival treat. We've got to complete that too, and that has to follow this International Flower and Garden Festival passport. And at each item, I've got to stop and eat the entire thing, and I've got to give it a review. So I can't move on until after I've fully eaten it and given it that review, and then we head to the next. Hopefully I can beat the last time, which was 3 hours and 55 minutes. That shouldn't be too hard because we had an hour and 9-minute rain delay last time, but I guess that was a good way to digest a little bit in between, but we'll see how we do this time as we head through France. All right, you can see I'm coming up to my first item. It is at Isla Fresca between France and Morocco. It will be the coconut chocolate flan bizcocho. And we'll go to the menu here to show you how it looks. And you can see this item has chocolate cake, coconut custard, and passion fruit caramel. So let's get in line. We are right at lunchtime, so that's gonna eat up a significant chunk of time today. All right, you can see I now have our flan. It looks great, and we'll just have to bite in and see how it tastes. All right, let's head right in for the first bite here. Get a little bit of everything. Make sure we get that chocolate top there. All right, let's start this off here with our first bite of our flan. All right, it's a good mixture of the coconut and the chocolate. I'm not really picking up any of the passion fruit, even though it's a very nice little pool here. I guess I can't really pick that up with a fork, but admittedly, that's the way it goes. All right, I want to say it's a good mixture of both the coconut and the chocolate. I really didn't get any passion fruit at all there, which is a little disappointing, but between the smooth creaminess of the flan, I think it does go well with a pretty rich tasting chocolate. So I do like the chocolate. Can never go wrong with chocolate in my book, of course. Way back in the day, I want to say 10th grade, we had a basketball team that was called Los Flan Fugitivos. So us very early Spanish-speaking high school students loved our flan. So that said, this was a good start. I want to give this B+. We're going to start off strong with a B+ here. It doesn't deserve quite an A. Like I said, I wish the passion fruit got through a little bit more, but chocolate, flan, can't tell any difference plant-based or not. So this is great, good start, and we'll keep rolling after I finish this up. All right, you can see we have finished this one, and also want to point out here that we did indeed get our very first stamp right there. So we are officially underway. All right, we have made it to Germany. It's the Bauernmarkt Farmer's Market. And here we have to get the potato pancakes with house-made applesauce. So let's get in line. Quite a line here. All right. Gonna take a little bit. Definitely a factor in today's challenge, unlike the last time. Unfortunately, Snow White is here to take away my beautiful well, where I ate 3 times in our last challenge, but I guess Snow White deserves it, so we won't complain too much. Item number 2 are potato pancakes here. Looking pretty good. I did like that they did not put the applesauce on until after you ordered it and right before they handed it to you, so that should be nice and fresh for us. So let's give this a first bite. Oh yeah, they were out of forks, so we unfortunately have to go with a spoon here, but we will make sure to get a good bite with both the pancake and the applesauce. So let's get to it. Okay, here we go. First bite of the potato pancake. Okay, so the first thing that hit my mouth was apparently the applesauce, but after it went through the mouth for a little bit, The potato really did pop out. Now I will say I would have liked a little bit crispier here for the pancake itself. I was looking a little bit more towards the hash brownie side, but still, the taste is very good. All right, before we give this a grade, let's do a bite with just the potato pancake. There's no applesauce on this bite. Yeah, pretty much as expected. I mean, it's a quality potato. Again, I would have liked a little more crunch there. That is gonna knock it down a bit. Let's take a quick bite of applesauce only. She does really hit it. It's kind of better without the potato on it for the applesauce itself. So that is interesting. I'm gonna have to bump this down a little bit overall though. Like I said, would have liked a little crispier. We're gonna give this a C+. C+, yeah. I think that's appropriate here. So I'll finish this up and we'll get going. All right, and we'll get a move in here and ta-da, there is our second stamp. So let's keep it going. All right, we've made the very short walk to the Refreshment Outpost. You do just go through the regular line like it were any other day, but here we have our festival choices. And for this, we have the seasonal fruit parfait with sweet chili sauce and Dole Whip mango. So let's get right in line as we see some kids banging on the drums. Before I bite into the seasonal fruit parfait, I want to note that before every time we will cleanse the palate with our nice water bottle here. Refreshing Florida Disney water, D-. Because nothing says minimally acceptable like that water that they give you for free at the parks. Great, especially the ones out at the water fountains, but hey, it hits the spot and it counts. So let's get to our seasonal fruit parfait here. It is already starting to melt right here, so let's get right into it. All right, so let's really get into this one for the first bite. All right, finally, first bite, seasonal fruit parfait. Okay, yeah, the sweet chili. It does really give you a nice little kick there. More than I expected, I'll be honest. I'm pleasantly surprised by that. The mango Dole Whip, very refreshing, of course. We knew that would be good. Very nice and sweet, just like you would expect. And I did get just a little piece of watermelon in there. The 3 fruit that are in the parfait, I did specifically ask: watermelon, pineapple, and mango. So there you go. So you get some real fruit pieces of mango on top of the Dole Whip. So I will say here, the fruit, you can't really taste the actual fruit in here. The sweet chili sauce plus the Dole Whip on top of it really just drowns it out. So you're really just getting the, you know, the bite of the fruit. So I'm not gonna count that for really anything here. It's fine, not gonna take away anything either. Though I guess I would admit I'd rather not have the fruit if you're not really gonna taste it. But the mango itself, and then that really nice kick from the sweet chili, you know, it's not hot, right? You call it more of a warm than a hot, so that's acceptable. But it is a nice kick, so I will give this a B-. Okay, as I continue to work through this, I have to say the sweet chili doesn't appear as much as those first couple bites. You still get it, still good. The mango is sweet, but it's not quite the full mango hit that I would like from the Dole Whip. So again, we're gonna stick with the B-, but I will note I'm also walking dangerously on the edge here for more brain freezes. If you remember, the festival finisher for Emil's fromage montage with the Key West soft serve was really giving me some issues since I was trying to finish. I got 3 brain freezes in that one little cup. Here, I seem to be bordering on a brain freeze every other bite. So I haven't gotten one yet, but it seems like I can feel it coming, but stop just enough, just for a moment, and I survived. So still got about halfway to go here, so we gotta finish this out, but I will say it is at least nice and refreshing in the hot sun. All right, I have to give the final update there, finishing this up right here. It's all gone. No brain freezes, that's official. The bottom layer had a bunch of pineapples, so that really came through, the good chunks of pineapple. That was very good. It's the way to finish it, but again, no change in score from all that, so let's move on. We're a third done through the regular entries. So item number 4 coming up. All right, I'm at the Citrus Blossom, and there are 2 items here, so we're gonna be hanging out here for a while. First up is the lumpia with plant-based pork, green papaya salad, and yuzu sweet and sour. Then at the bottom there, the lemon tart with lemon curd, blood orange fluid gel, plant-based meringue, and raspberry powder. So we will start with the real meal as opposed to the dessert. So yes, the lumpia will be up first as we get in line. It's a long line. Maybe we do need to get them both at the same time. To be determined. I did get both items here, so we'll do one at a time. We will start with the lumpia. And, you know, I think the best way to do this here is just to go one full bite with both the spring roll and the sauce. So let's get started there. Okay, remember here we have plant-based pork, then this also has the yuzu sweet and sour sauce on it. So here we go, first bite. Okay, felt like I had to let that one sit for a second in there. Started off just meh, but it got better with as the sauce sat on the tongue for a second. With the sauce, I can't tell any difference immediately whether the pork is plant-based or not, so that is obviously good. Now I will do a second spring roll without any sauce. Perhaps it'll be more pronounced there, but a good start. Obviously there's many parts to this, so let me try to knock this out separately and then we'll give it a grade at the end. All right, here's some sauce by itself. Yeah, I will note again that hits after a second. It takes just a moment to hit. I will say it has a kind of a earthy plant-like taste to it at the beginning especially. Picks up to be a little bit sweeter as it goes on. So I guess that's your sweet and sour taste going on. I guess definitely get more sweet than sour. All right, now let's do a spring roll without any sauce. This is no sauce. Honestly, I think I like this better without the sauce. Sauce might be bringing it down for me. I will say the pork tastes like pork. I'm very pleased with that. First bite of the green papaya salad right here coming up. Okay. Not a lot of taste to it. It's a subtle taste. It is nice, cool, and refreshing. I'll give it that. But yeah, I mean, it does have a little citrusy. I want to say it has a little citrusy taste to it. It does have a good crunch to it. That is a positive. I think I can give the overall grade before I finish the last couple bites. I'm gonna give this a C straight up because I do think the yuzu sweet and sour sauce made it slightly worse in my book. And I think that is how you're supposed to really want to eat this one. So I can't go more than right in the middle. I'd give a B- if it were just the spring roll with the plant-based pork in it. And the papaya salad is nice, refreshing, like I said. Doesn't add anything, but doesn't take away anything either. I mean, I would always take a fourth spring roll over the salad, but I guess that is not an option. So we're gonna go straight down the middle with a C. All right, so let's head right to our lemon tart. It has been sitting a while, so I won't dock it. Should it be slightly off from its freshness, but it looks perfectly fine. I don't think it would have lost anything. You do have to lift it up to see the blood orange fluid gel, so it's gonna be a little tricky because I do like to try to get everything in the very first bite. So we're gonna cut it right down the middle here. And I do have a fork and a knife. All right, not my best effort here. Haha, look at that. Yeah. Some surgery there, but we've got a little bit of everything here. Here we go. First bite, lemon tart. Wow. Okay. That lemon is very intense, which is great. I love that. Curd is good, nice and creamy. I would say creamy is the right word here. But you just have to be a lover of lemon and you're gonna be good to go. This meringue, very extra sticky, I'd say. Gosh. You can't get any of the raspberry. The orange fluid gel, I'm not even sure what that's supposed to taste like, but you can't taste that either. It's all the lemon. The whole thing is lemon. Lemon meringue pie is a top 3 pie for me, as in number 3. Chocolate and pumpkin, definitely 1 and 2 of the standard pies. But yes, lemon meringue, big fan. So lemon tart is hitting it just in the same way. The meringue is overly sticky though, I will say. It's got to lose like a 1 notch. Man, I really tried to isolate the blood orange fluid gel. No, it just doesn't work. You're simply getting lemon here. I wish I could, I wish I would have pulled off that raspberry meringue at the top instead of making it be part of it at the beginning. That was the only chance. Because no, it's just overwhelmed. All right, so it has to lose a little bit of points there just because you don't get anything else really other than the lemon. But I do love the lemon. So I'm still gonna give this a B straight up B, just because I like the lemon a whole lot. So that is great. Lemon lovers rejoice. This will get it done for you. All right, there is our lemon tart, all gone. But what is also all gone are all of the spots in our first book. So I'm now eligible to get a festival treat, which is of course at Pineapple Promenade, but it is a secret, so we'll have to find out officially what it is at the end. But we'll just move on to our second book right after this. All right, I have stepped outside the door and made my way to Brunchcot. It is right beside Test Track. The avocado toast with marinated tomatoes featuring boursin, dairy-free garlic, and fine herbs, cheese on toasted ciabatta. Always looking forward to avocado, gotta say. So I think this will be good. All right, here we are with the avocado toast. Lots of toppings on here. It does look like we have some edible flowers in addition to everything else. We do expect this cheese, the boursin cheese here, that looks pretty good. And of course we have tomatoes. I will note here off the bat that I do not love tomatoes, but for the challenge we of course will be eating it. This is ciabatta bread, so hopefully it's soft in the middle. We'll find out when we get to it. But until then, let's get right to our first bite here. All right, we're not messing around. We've got the avocado toast here. Big old bite. I'm gonna move to the middle so I get this tomato, which might be hurting the grade, but we'll find out. All right, I love avocado. It's amazing, it's creamy, as always, everything you expect out of avocado. Nice and rich. Sorry for Test Track going on right behind me, but that's where we're at in the spot right now. And of course, the ciabatta is actually very good. I will say the middle is nice and soft to go along with the hard crust, so that is perfect. So the cheese is also creamy, a little, obviously it's cheese, so it is a little milky. Has a little bit of a tang to it, so that's good. It complements the avocado well, but again, you're barely gonna taste it, and I didn't have a problem with the tomato. It blended right in as well. And our edible arrangement here doesn't really have a taste. The avocado overpowers that flour. All right, avocado just always so creamy, so smooth, so good. I can't say anything bad about it. Again, the cheese I would have liked a little bit more in there, so it hit harder. I think this is very solid. You can't go wrong here. I will give it an A-. My favorite so far, just barely ahead of the flan. But we still have plenty more to go here. So that's 6 down, 3 regular ones to go, and then to the festival treat. So let's head on over. And there's our shot of it being all done. And here is our first stamp on passport number 2. So we're on our way. All right, I made it to Nectar. We've got 2 items here, the poke bowl and the coconut panna cotta. So we'll get both of them here. See how this goes. Fortunately, not nearly as bad of a line here. All right, this is another 2 for here. You can see them both right there. So we're gonna start with the poke bowl. We gotta keep this nice and cool. There are so many ingredients here. I don't know how we're gonna grade it all, but let's do it. Okay, I definitely wanted to get some of the sticky rice and the umami sauce. That was for sure. Also got a little mango and a couple of edamame on here, so that'll be good for a first bite. So let's see how it goes. All right, very good. All right, the umami sauce is not overwhelming, so I like it. You can still get a little bit of taste of everything. We're just gonna have to keep trying different bites with different ingredients on it. Try these pickled onions here with some rice as well. All right. Better than I expected. I'm not a big onion guy, but these pickled onions, very nice and sweet. That goes perfectly with the umami sauce for sure. Let's get a little bit of this seaweed salad with the sticky rice and umami. Ooh, okay. So to me, the seaweed salad, it is nice and refreshing salad taste, but if texture is important to you, I do not like the texture. It's a little squish in there. almost. I don't really like that. That's gonna take it down a notch for me. I didn't mention the furikake. I don't really have a strong opinion on it. It just kind of goes with the umami personally, very nicely. So it's just combined as a taste. I didn't find anything sticking out there. As I just previously said, avocado always goes well for me. Combine that with the pickled onions, really a great taste. Pickled onions really are the star of the show, I think, here. They just have a nice sweet pop, tangy, tart, all good when you get into it. Just really mixing it around, getting all the various bites in you can in each bite, or various flavors in each bite. That really helps it for sure. So this is a really strong outing here by the poke bowl for sure. Let's just go right ahead and give this, I'm gonna give this an A-. Really strong togetherness, everything put together nicely. Just all around good taste, I have to admit. You get a little bit of everything in every bite. You can either separate it or put it together. I think putting it together is the way to go. Blends everything very nicely, better than I ever could imagine. I did not think this was gonna be one of my higher scores, but it certainly earned it, so very strong, A- as I try to wrap this up and move on to the panna cotta. All right, we're officially moving on. We're going to the coconut panna cotta. Okay, after some technical difficulties, here we go. We got the panna cotta, we've got the coconut custard at the bottom, we've got the cherry gelée, and we even have the matcha crumb. A lot going on here. Let's see how it is. Okay. The cherry is the item that's sticking out here. Matcha crumb is completely overwhelmed by the cherry gelée. Can't really even tell the custard. I'm gonna be honest, I'm surprised by that. And to explore a little more here. Okay, there's just a very small piece of the meringue. I think it's good, pretty plain. But you know, it's sugar essentially, so can't go wrong there. At least I can taste it this time, unlike a little bit earlier at the citrus blossom. So this is good with that lemon tart that I couldn't taste. This, you can at least taste it, but it's so small, it's barely even worth mentioning. So before I get into this, the cookie is really hard to get in there if you don't eat it. So we're gonna eat this next with some cherry gelée on it. Let me just get a bite with no cherry on it. Very light taste. Like I don't know. There's not really much going on here. I'm not gonna give it really any points. It could do without it. Wouldn't be any different. There's real no sweetness. There's no real anything. I was hoping to even give it like a graham cracker, but no. It's just like a plain vanilla-y. So that's not getting any points. I wish they would have just filled the cup a little bit more. That would have been much better than the cookie. There is some flour confetti in here. You can see it right there. Not surprising, it doesn't have much taste. When I isolate it, you can get a good coconut taste there. That is good custard. But again, once I get this next bite that has both things in it, just a hint of the coconut now, just a hint. This one's all about the cherry. The cherry is the overwhelming sensation here. Yeah, I mean, I just have a hard time giving this a great grade because the main part of this, being the custard, the coconut, is just the secondary taste to the cherry gelée. So that's gonna knock it down. It's really not bad. I don't mind this cherry. I'm gonna give it a C. Plain C, right down the middle. I wish I could give it higher if the coconut stood out a little more, but just can't do it. So I'll finish this up and we'll head on to the next. All right, you can see both of these are down and we got 2 stamps. So we are at 8 total stamps. We only have 1 more regular spot before the festival treat, so let's get to it. And our final regular stop here is Beach Grub. We've got to get the grilled street corn on the cob with savory garlic spread featuring Boursin dairy-free garlic and fine herbs cheese. We've already heard that ingredient before, but let's get in this stunningly short line. I guess we're kind of getting into that point that lunch is over, but not for us. All right, looks delicious, thank you. All right, here we go. Here's our grilled street corn on the cob from the Beach Club. You saw them making it. It was awesome. Love seeing that right at the grill. We're gonna grab it here. just start going at it. All right, here's the hoping the cheese really hits, but I think we're gonna get mostly garlic here, but here we go. Well, crap, man. That's some good stuff, I've got to admit. That's good stuff. All right, let's go. Wow. This is very rich. It's almost overpowering, but I will say the cheese and the garlic is good to mix it. This is getting a B- for me, a B-. Like I said, it's a good mix, both the cheese and the garlic, but I don't want to say it's a perfect blend. And the exact garlic on there is not exactly my favorite, so good, but good enough to be in the B range, but don't want to give it too high of praise. However, you can't go wrong with some corn on the cob, so feel free to get that anytime you're in the mood. Okay, as I get down to the bottom here, I will note, had to pull back, and when you do that, obviously there's nothing special at this last third of the corn on the cob, so you really can't get anything here, but it's just, you know, your standard corn on the cob. Okay, final note here. Remember, it's going to be different for everyone. It just depends on how they make it. You see how they did it there. But the garlic was extra strong at the very end of the cob. And then as you got more towards the middle, the cheese took over a little bit more. So that was just the trade-off you got. Wasn't mixed perfectly the entire way throughout, but still overall good. But again, that last third, that's a pretty significant chunk to not really have any additional flavor to it. So I'm gonna keep it with the B-, but be wary of that. However, still pretty good. And that's gonna do it for the 9 regular items on the Garden Graze. So I think it's time to pick up a festival treat. I'm at Pineapple Promenade, or Promenade for you fancy folks out there, but it doesn't tell us what we're gonna get, so we're just gonna have to find out. Whatever could it be? And there it is, our festival treat. So this is our Garden Graze finisher, and we got this very nice pineapple Dole Whip and vegan vanilla soft serve combo. And just for good measure, they also gave us this very nice Garden Graze wildflower mix. And the cast member specifically said, do not eat this, it is to grow. So, but that is not today's plan, because we've got to eat this very nice and probably very cold, ready to get brain freeze soft treat. We are ready to go. Let's get this first bite underway. A little bit of pineapple, a little bit of vanilla. Let's do it.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Oh yeah, okay, I do like this very much. Very nice and refreshing. That pineapple really pops out for sure. Very nice and sweet pineapple taste, but it is smoothed over a little bit by the vanilla, so you're just not completely overwhelmed by the pineapple. Vanilla is a very nice mix, and just like I said, it smooths it out very nicely. So let's just get going. Let's hope not to get a brain freeze today. Brain freeze number 1 has kicked in. Still about halfway to go. See how we do. But we held off for a while. Trying to go fast. I want to get under 3 hours. And we did it. That is our Garden Graze completed. 10 items up, 10 items down. Only 1 brain freeze this time. But we did not quite succeed to make it in 3 hours as the goal. The clock was officially stopped at 3:05, so just 2 minutes over the 3-hour goal. But it is still an improvement from last time, but as I said, that was due to the rain delay, so I don't know. I thought I could beat that 3-hour mark, but next time. However, overall, a lot of good food. We will head back and tally up the scores and give you our countdown for the top 10 coming up next. I am back inside the Odyssey, and I am ready to give you the top 10. We'll go, of course, from 10 to 1. Starting at number 10 with a C is the coconut panna cotta. I have to say that the cherry overwhelmed everything here. I would have liked more coconut since it is a coconut panna cotta, so it's going to be last place. At number 9 is the lumpia. The sauce just took away too much here from the overall taste of the spring rolls, so it's gonna just rest at number 9. At number 8, the potato pancakes are getting a C+. If they would have been crispier, it would have moved up. Also, the applesauce didn't do anything for it. At number 7 is the seasonal fruit parfait. It would be up a little higher if the fruit were actually able to be tasted throughout. I guess we had a little bit at the bottom with the pineapple, but not enough. At number 6 is the grilled street corn on the cob. Yes, it had a hard-hitting taste, but it was too uneven throughout the cob, as it was mostly garlic at the end, more of the cheese in the middle, and of course, like I said, the last third really didn't have any taste other than the corn itself. At number 5 was the lemon tart. The lemon truly overwhelmed everything else in this dish. The lemon was excellent though, so it is still splitting the countdown. At number 4, I forgot to give it a grade, but we're giving the festival treat, which was the pineapple Dole Whip and vanilla soft serve mixed. It's getting a B+, and it was actually pretty good. It was nicely smoothed out, as we talked about, so a very nice taste. At number 3 is where we started with the coconut chocolate flan bizcocho. It got a B+, as it was a great mix between both the chocolate and the flan, but there's absolutely no taste with the passion fruit, so we can't quite give it an A. But at number 2, we will give an A- to the avocado toast. Yes, it was great avocado toast. I really can never complain about avocado. The only thing that was lacking was that the cheese was just not significant enough to make a dent, but the avocado and ciabatta put together, very good. And at number 1, we'll give the poke bowl with the pickled red onion just absolutely stealing the show. When you put it together with any other bite, it just was fantastic. That plus the umami, amazing stuff. If it just didn't have that seafood salad taking away a little bit due to texture, it would have gotten a true A, but still, outstanding dish, definitely deserves to be number 1 here today for your Garden Graze Top 10. So there you have it, Zoo Crew. We finished at 3 hours and 2 minutes, not quite breaking my own personal goal of 3 hours, but still much better than last time at 3 hours and 55 minutes for the Food and Arts Festival. So the next time we get to do this, we'll see if we can break that 3 hour mark, but until then, I'll see you real soon.